why is no one talking about this driver and this driver right here? These two drivers are probably some of the most, actually not probably, the most underrated drivers of 2024. In the year of maximum forgiveness, still maintaining good ball speed and distance, these two have just slided under the radar in my opinion. Just look at those numbers straight off the gun. 110 miles an hour club speed, 162.3 ball speed, resulting in, for me, what I am very happy with, a 277 yard total. Now, if I could do that every time, I would be insanely happy. Now, what drivers am I talking about? Well, the driver I just hit was this. And I bet you still don't know what it is. It is the Srixon ZX5 MK2. Yep, this is the Srixon driver in 9.5 degrees. And Srixon say this is maximum power with maximum forgiveness. Well, that's what everybody else is talking about, right? In the AI Smoke, in the QI10, and in the Ping G430 10K Max. And the second driver, I bet you still don't know what this is, slightly bigger profile. This is the Cobra Dark Speed Max driver. Now, I'll be honest, I really like Cobra's product this year, but I don't really feel it's got the same buzz about it as we have seen in previous years. So, for example, the F9, there was a huge buzz about it, the Rad Speed, the SZ, and even last year's driver in the Aerojet, there was a huge buzz about the product. I feel it's gone a bit nah, which I don't really know why. Because the numbers that you're gonna get with them for a little bit less price, especially in the Srixon, wow. Okay, so let's talk price point. Now, the average price you can get for one of these is around £329. So I reckon just over $400, which in the grand scheme of things right now is considered cheap. Can't believe that's even the word I'm using, but you know where I'm going with that. And for that, you get this lovely matte colored top with the outer edges in white. And I really enjoy that look down behind the golf ball. I don't know about you, it doesn't look too big, which I also think is a good thing, but it's packed full of forgiveness. You've got this weighting system at the back and this whole look to the bottom of the club and the rebound frame, one of the main pieces of technology. So come on, let's see if we can do another one just like that. That was literally splitting the fairway in two. Let's see if we can do it again. Ooh, even better, higher launch. It does sound odd, I will say that. That is literally perfect. That is literally perfect. And it's longer. Now that was maybe a little bit toe side, but you saw where it finished, and that's a 288 yard total. Look at these. That's pretty damn consistent. Now there can only be one thing, and the reason why I guess it isn't at that price point of a Taylormade, a Callaway, and that sort of ilk is it's just not as well-known brand in the market for, I guess, everything. It sort of goes under the radar a little bit, and maybe that's because there's less marketing, which is really interesting because those two drives are some of the best hits and some of the best numbers up there I have had this year. Okay, so let's now have a look at the Dark Speed down behind the ball. And if I'm honest, if this driver was really to compete with the QI10 Max and the AI Smoke Max Driver 2. Now look at that, and you could also probably throw the Ping in there. I don't really like the shape as much on this one. It looks quite straight on that top edge around here, and then very domey towards the back. But that matte look is very good and forgiving. Now one thing you get in this driver is a 12-gram weight in here towards the heel, and that really helps golfers, I guess, who slice it, moving the CG in a little bit more towards the heel, as well as this weight towards the back, again improving CG. And it's a little bit more on the expensive side. It's £429, which again is leading me towards a Srixon a little more. But let's see how this one performs. So first shot away here with the Cobra Dark Speed Max. Now, one thing I will notice that this driver goes a little bit higher. But interestingly, the ball speed didn't drop off that much. Yes, it was just below that 160 mark, but that's not too slow, is it? And the only thing I can think is getting a little bit more spin. Whereas, okay, this second shot really got me a little bit more interested. I hit this shot a little bit out the heel, or that's what it felt like, and we just achieved numbers like this. A 118 club speed, a 160.6 ball speed, and a 281 total. Which, if you think about it, is so damn blooming impressive, isn't it? That is impressive. And I guess that's what the idea of a max driver. The only thing that's slightly off-putting for me is the fact that it does go a little bit higher for this. And I'm thinking overall value. Why is no one talking about this for the price point? It's a max forgiving driver in a max forgiving market, but no one's buying it. Like, would you care what brand it is? Or like, and be honest with me. Because I often have this conversation, people are like, no, I'm not getting that. It's not a Callaway, it's not a Taylormade, it's not a Ping, can't be that. I'll be honest, like, I'm in very much the camp where I don't care what brand it is. I care more about like how it performs. I really, really do. Right, let's have it. This is ball number 3 with the Srixon. And we are gonna test it in another scenario. One more after this. But let's hit one more with each off this tee. This is the stroke index one, by the way. It is hard. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna give this one an absolute larrup here. Oh! I haven't got any better in the locker. Like, genuinely, that right there is as good as I have got. Oh my God, look at this. Look at this. That's a 291 yard total for a driver that is a fraction of the price and in that forgiving market. More club head speed, but look at the ball speed. I knew that driver would be good. I really did know that driver would be good. But the fact that it's this good and it's not going like, but it's classed as a really forgiving driver, it is good. Okay, one more away with the Cobra Dark Speed. Does anybody, I mean, I'm looking at this now, does anybody agree with me? The shaping of this just isn't as inviting. It's no way as much inviting. It's very much what I see on the QI10 Max and in the Callaway. It just looks quite square here, then a bit too long. And you can sort of see the differences in shaping there. On the left, you've got the Dark Speed, and here on the right, you've got the Srixon driver. You can see the slight differences in shaping. Should have also said, these are set to the exact same lofts. So let's see, we're gonna give this one a bit of a larrup too. Come on, let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. Would anybody now consider these drivers? Would anybody now consider them? That's a little bit toe side, hang on, and that could be really long. That could be really long. It's not quite as much ball speed. We've got a 163.7 ball speed, 110.5 club head speed. Either these drivers are unbelievable or I'm feeling really good this morning. Wow, 295 yards. And I'm gonna say right now, this is still hitting the fairway with only 12 left. Only 12 yards left and that far. And what's really interesting is this spin isn't off the charts too. Now, I will also add this into the mix. I do prefer the sound of the Cobra. And that's a big thing. You've got to enjoy the acoustics of your driving. There's no point standing there going, oh God, I'm hitting that ping and it sounds horrible. You want to stand there, or even actually some of the Cobras early on in their sort of days, they sounded terrible. Remember the coloured version ones? I don't know which ones they were, but they did them in like orange, yellow, white versions, and they just sounded horrendous. Okay, let's go and hit 2 more, but I told you, right? This is the hole we're playing, and I reckon we just, well, we're going to show you where they've all finished, but we're definitely round the corner with these. I've really had this discussion before. I think Cobra in the past have been one of those massively underrated brands. And I think obviously in the recent years, they've done some absolute stonking products, which has sort of, I guess, taken them out of there. But I really do think your Srixon clubs, irons I would throw in the mix too, are so underrated. Does anybody else sort of share that thought pattern? Anybody else share that? I've just driven over the hill. We hit 6 shots. Oh my Lord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That right there, well, I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've driven it that well all year, and that's saying something, because right now, I am loving my Titleist GT3. But honestly, just look how consistent they are. 3 there, 3 here. They've all found the fairway. We teed off right down there. You have out of bounds all down this side. Look, 3 a pocket there and a pocket right there. So let's hit a couple more away with each of the drivers. First up, the Cobra. Now this again, I'll reiterate this definitely sounds a more superior driver and definitely launches a little higher. This shot went around the 277 mark, which I think is where it's sort of plateauing out now. I think the sort of 290s were a little bit on the letting loose. But actually, saying that, they weren't loose, were they? They were blooming straight. And again, next up, the Srixon. I'm really leaning towards this driver, 1, because of the price point, 2, because of the slightly lower launch. In my opinion, that's something that I prefer. But one thing I don't like is that sound. But you know what? I could get over that sound. I could get over that sound. Let's hit 2 more away. Now, there's a big reason I'm going for this tee shot. It is my blooming nemesis. That. And you know what? I don't feel like I'm capable of it. I don't feel I'm capable of that left shot right here. Okay, let's hit another one away with the Cobra. Like, just look at this launch. Can you see though what I'm saying here? Like, that is perfect. But that is so high in terms of where it's finishing. Line is ideal. Carry's good. Maybe I've just got to readjust. That was a 277 finish, a 120 apex, and there are our numbers in terms of ball data. And let's just see though, let's see what the apex is on this one. Now what's really interesting is, I think I've really shown you the argument today of how these are super, super forgiving at a fraction of the price, and no one's really talking about it. I guess I'm a little bit more surprised no one's talking about it with a Cobra because they've had such strong products in the last few years. I'm not surprised they're not talking about Strixon because, I mean, I can probably name one player that's using it, Shane Lowry, maybe Brooks Koepka potentially. I know he plays a few Strixon clubs, but apart from that, you name me more. I'd love you to help. Maybe Keegan Bradley, maybe just made that up. Let me know. Oh, that is, I can't hit a better drive than that. That is what I'm talking about. That right there is what I'm talking about in terms of apex. Wow, that was long. Wow, that was long. Interestingly, like, I'm not getting my highest clubhead speed, a 108.9, a 162 ball speed. This is what I was meaning. Look at the apex, lower, 96. Around 96 to 100 is what I like to see, hence why I'm enjoying that. And a 293 total. And that is supposedly the cheaper driver. So I think it's safe to say these drivers are seriously underrated. Why is no one talking about the Strixon ZX5 MK2 and the Cobra Dark Speed Max driver? For me, they offer everything at a slightly cheaper price point, especially the Strixon. Let me know if you enjoyed this video and if you're going to consider that Strixon driver. I think it's a real strong product for 2024 at a fraction of the price. I would highly recommend it. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to keep up to date with not only the latest equipment, but also finding the best out there. That's not just the best in terms of price, but the best in terms of actual performance out here on the course.